Good morning, Ellen Knights. It's Mrs. Hakcensmith. Today is Friday, May 15th. So I'm going to take a look at our matrix, and yesterday you were asked to do the fact and opinion page in your packet. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go over the answers for this packet. I am on page 7. Yep, page 7 and page 8. Okay, so if you want to get your packets, and then you can correct it with me. So the first story was about the big cat. It was a jaguar. And it told us that he lives in Latin America in warm climates. And they are the most beautiful cats in the wild. They have a big head and strong jaws. They're huge, silent, deadly hunters. And the jaguar spends most of his time alone, okay? And then you were asked to read a sentence and discuss and decide if that was a fact or an opinion. Remember, a fact is something that is always true and can be proven. An opinion is what you think, okay? And somebody might not have the same opinion as you. So opinions are not always true. All right, so A said, the jaguar is one of 4 big cats. And it said that in the story, so that was a fact. It was true. Jaguars live in warm climates in Latin America. That was also a fact. We learned about that by reading the text. Then it said they are the most beautiful of all wild cats. Now that is what somebody thinks, so that is their opinion. This is not always true because maybe you don't agree with that. You don't think they're the most beautiful of the wild cats. I personally think the lion is, so it's not true for me. And then you had to write another fact down here. I chose that the jaguar spends most of his time alone and even stays away from other jaguars. There are lots of other facts in here. So hopefully you did this page and you took a picture of it and you put it on Seesaw, and then I can read what other fact you chose to write down about the jaguar. All right, the next one is called In the Shell. And this was about how a chick spends his time in the shell before he's hatched. Again, we're going to read the sentences and we're going to decide if it is fact or opinion. The air seeps through tiny holes in the shell. That was right here. The air seeps through tiny holes in the shell. That is a fact. That is something that has been proven. Blood vessels carry the air to the chick. Blood vessels carry the air to the chick. There it is right there in the text. So that is also a fact. It is true. Chicks look funny when they hatch. That is an opinion. That is somebody's feeling or somebody's idea about what the chick looks like. Okay, so that one is an opinion. Then you had to write another fact. I said at one end of the shell is an air bubble. Capital letter at the beginning, period at the end. The words are spelled correctly because I just copied the fact right out of the text. So if you haven't done so, go ahead and upload this on Seesaw if you are able to, and I can take a look at it for you. Alrighty, so let's look at our matrix today. It says, read Scholastic News Magazine, The Volcano That Stopped Summer. And here it is right here. The Volcano That Stopped Summer. I'm always interested in volcanoes because I just think they're super cool. Then it says, complete the activity page to go along with the magazine. So here's your activity page. It was inside your Volcano magazine, inside your folder. So if you haven't received or you haven't gotten this out, go ahead and get it out. And then while you're in your folder, would you please take out math page 601 and 602. And then we'll move over to the book camera and we will get our work done. See you in a little bit. Okay, Okay, under the book camera we are. Remember, if you want to do your Scholastic News on the website, you certainly can. Go to this login address, scholastic.com/SN2, and that will bring you to this website here. Okay. You're going to sign in as a student, and then you're going to go to your classroom password. Remember, it is Kite Ride, KITERIDE 6157. Kite Ride 6157, and then when I hit sign in, okay. Alrighty, we're going to go down to the April magazines. Here's the one with the volcano. We're going to click on it. And then here is all of your information. You can listen and read the magazine. Wild Weather is the video. Vocabulary words. There is a fun game to play. Alrighty, so you can do it either on here or you can just read it yourself in the magazine. Let's take a look at the magazine. We have the title, The Volcano That Stopped Summer. It's kind of like we could replace this with The Virus That Stopped the World, couldn't we? Because the world's pretty much been put on stop. All right, so let's read about this. 200 years ago, a volcano called Mount Tambora erupted. All over the world, the weather became cold and stormy. In North America, that's the continent that we live on, people called it the year without a summer. Wow, it's amazing what one volcano in the world can do to affect all of the other parts of the world. All right, so here's our heading, The Year with No Summer. In 1815, so about 200 years ago, one volcano changed the weather around the world. Let's look at the As You Read box. They want you to think about the different ways the volcano changed the weather. Then I'm going to take a look at the pictures and the captions because that's what good readers do when they're reading nonfiction. Here is a picture of a volcano. It says, a cloud of dust and ash spreads through the sky. So the volcano can erupt and spew out enough clouds and ash that it can cover the sun. It's pretty scary. Let's look over here at this picture and let's read the caption. The first bicycle. Look at it, doesn't have any pedals. I wonder how it works if you just put your feet down and like a skateboard, make it go that way. The wheels are wooden. Interesting. And I wonder why, if we're talking about weather, I wonder why they're talking about the first bicycle. I wonder how all that connects. We'll have to wait until we read it. Okay, let's look at the subheadings. A volcano erupts. A thick cloud spreads. A colder world. And then a surprise invention. Oh, I can predict. I bet this is where we talk about that bicycle. Okay, so you are going to either read this or follow along if the computer reads it to you. And then on the back, a world-changing eruption gives you a map. I would definitely read all of these captions, and then there's an arrow that points to the country that they're talking about. And then you're going to answer the questions. And then you also have your worksheet that goes with this. Okay, so you're going to answer questions 1 through 5, color in the bubble. If you want to put it on Seesaw to show me your answers, that is wonderful. And then on the back side, you're going to do some work with some vocabulary from the story. Okay, we have the word erupts. Number 2 says, draw what it might have looked like when Mount Tambora erupted. And why was the cold weather bad for the crops? You could probably make an inference here because you know what crops need in order to grow. So you could probably figure out an answer as to what would happen if the cold weather was with the crops. You can probably figure out why that would be bad. Alrighty, so that is your reading assignment for today. Have fun with it. I love Scholastic News. They are so much fun to read. All right, let's take a look at our matrix then for math. Okay, so math says, do independent practice numbers 4 through 3 on pages 601 and 602 in your math packet. Complete the right math at the bottom of the page. Alrighty, while we're here down here at the bottom, don't forget, I hope you're reading 20 minutes every day. And then you can just write your time on a piece of paper just to keep track. And then don't forget, you need to watch these videos every day too. Alrighty, so let's take a look at page 601. We've got more clocks. Remember yesterday we talked about telling time to the nearest half hour or half past. So we're going to use a clock to tell what time is shown, and then you're going to write the time. So I'm going to take a look at the analog clock here. The analog clock shows the hour hand between the 10 and the 11. So that means it is still 10 o'clock. I have to go back to the lower hour, the smaller hour. 10 comes before 11, so if it's halfway between, it is still 10 o'clock. We have not reached 11 o'clock yet. And then the minute hand gets put onto the 6. And when your minute hand is on the 6, you could divide the clock in half, and each set we can say that it is half past 10. It's not 11. We haven't gotten to 11 yet. Or we could count the number of minutes. Remember, there are 5 minutes between each number, so we can count by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So our hour is still 10, and we know that half past means 30 minutes past the hour. So this is how you read the digital clock, 10:30. All you do on a digital clock is read the numbers, okay? And then all you do on the analog clock is you look at the hour hand first, and then how many minutes it is past that hour. So it is half past 10 o'clock. We have not reached 11 o'clock yet. We're not there. We've got to go all the way this way before we can reach 11 o'clock. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to do number 5, number 6. Now, number 7, it gives you the time, half past 4. Now remember, if it's half past 4, that means my hour hand is pointing at the 4. Here's my hour hand, pointing directly at the 4 because this is 4 o'clock. Now half past means my minute hand is going to move down to the 30. And as my minute hand is moving, so is my hour hand. But my minute hand moves faster. So Notice how the hour hand is between the 4 and the 5. So we go back to the hour of 4. So this is now 4:30. Or another way of writing that, we can say 4:30. Okay, now let's write this on our clock. Remember, your pencil needs to be sharpened. The hour hand is halfway between the 4 and the 5 because we're halfway past the hour. And the minute hand, remember, that's the long one, and it actually goes through the number. All right, so my hour hand does not touch the number, and my minute hand goes through the number. So this clock on the analog clock says 4:30 or 4:30. Okay, I want you to do that for number 8 and number 9. Make your half-past times. Okay, problem solving on the other page, 602. Turn it over just for now, and then you can go back to that later. It says Eli woke up at 7:30. What's another way of saying 7:30? Yes, 7:30. So I'm going to show you 7 o'clock. Here's 7 o'clock. 7:30 is when the minute hand has gone halfway around the clock and has gotten down to the 6, or 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So another way to say this, or we could write it on the digital clock, is 7:30. Oh, I don't want to write that there. That's not where our answer goes. Okay, so I'm going to write it up here. 7:30 is 7:30. All right. Now, Eli needs to leave for school 1 hour later. Show and write the time he needs to leave for school. So now we're going to do an hour starting at 7:30. So on our clock, to do an hour, it needs to go all the way around 60 minutes. Okay, so let's move our minute hand here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So it has gone 30 minutes now. That's not 60. We got to keep going. So we've got 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay, so now the clock has gone all the way around one time, or all the way around 60 minutes. And take a look at our clock. What time is it? The hour hand is between the 8 and the 9. The minute hand is on the 30. You write down what time that would be on your digital clock, and then you can make it on the analog clock. Okay, let's look at our brain builders. Use the clocks below to answer the questions. It says, what happens at each of these times? So we have school starts at 8:30. That's 8:30. See how the hour hand is between the 8 and the 9. Soccer practice starts at 3:30. The hour hand is between the 3 and the 4, so you always go back to that number, the earlier number, because we haven't gotten to 4 o'clock yet. It hasn't been 4 o'clock. And then the alarm goes off at between the 6 and the 7. We go back to the 6. The alarm goes off at 6:30. All righty. Now here are your questions. 2 hours after 4:30. So you have to put 4:30 in your head and you're going to go around for 2 hours. So 4:30 is the same as 4:30. So here's 4:30. So 2 hours after. So here is 1 hour. Here is 2 hours because it's got to go all the way around 2 times. Or you could put 4:30 in your head and you could count on. 4:30 plus an hour would be 5:30. 5:30 plus an hour would be 6:30. So 2 hours after 4:30 would be 6:30. What goes on at that time? The alarm goes off. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. 1 hour after 2:30 and 1 hour before 8:30. Now remember, if it's before, you have to count backwards. You got to go backwards. Alrighty. And then on the right math, I want you to write an answer to this question. How is reading a digital clock, here's a digital clock, different from reading an analog clock? So how are reading these two clocks different? Write about it. Explain how they are different. All right, Knights, that's all I have. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye-bye.